Hi, everyone. It's Laura Keller here from the We Know Lanark County podcast. I'm here with Jackie Kavanaugh from the Carleton Place Chamber of Commerce. How are you, Jackie?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, Jackie, like I said, you're part of the chamber. What's your role there?
So I'm the general manager of the Carleton Place and District Chamber of Commerce, and so we cover businesses and community organizations in Carleton Place and in Beckwith and in Mississippi Mills as well.
Okay, so it's bigger than just Carleton Place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's interesting. How long has the chamber been around in the Carleton Place area?
So the chamber was first incorporated as a board of trade in 1916. So
Oh, wow.
we just celebrated our 100th year, not that long ago, although it seems like a while now. We've been here getting businesses to work together and supporting businesses for over 100 years.
That's amazing. For people who aren't familiar with the Chamber of Commerce, what is the goal? What's the purpose of having one in every community?
Yeah, so I would say the goal of a chamber or the purpose of a chamber is giving business that united voice. So people with a common interest, having an organization that can speak on their behalf and that can bring them together and provide them services that are kind of exclusive to their needs, so business needs. They want to know about legislation. They want to know about rules and regulations that impact, their ability to do business. So we think our role is to, as businesses working for businesses, provide as much information as we can on that, and as well as providing avenues to build businesses through networking and common events that people can attend and meet and chat and learn from one another. So obviously not a whole lot of networking going on in person these days, but
Yes.
Soon we'll be back at it. And certainly we are offering virtual opportunities for business owners to get together and learn from each other.
It's interesting because a lot of small businesses sort of have a great idea and they're really good at what they do. And then, the logistics and, like you said, the rules and regulations and legislations of every community and every type of business are a little bit more complicated than we all think when we get into business for ourselves. So it's really great to have that sort of support system there. I know a lot of people in the area rely on your resources. Because your background is in communications, right?
Me personally, I guess you would say communications and media. So I did graduate from Carleton with a communications degree. And then after that, I went on to take radio and television broadcasting and was fortunate to work in broadcasting for over 10 years on various TV programs, et cetera, a lifetime ago.
But it gives you an interesting perspective when you're working with businesses, I'm sure, when you're talking about how they can relate to the public and
definitely. And I think, now more than ever, it's important for businesses to be making those personal connections with potential customers. You probably know more than anyone, building relationships with your clients and customers kind of ensures that you're going to have a long-term relationship with them as opposed to kind of a one-off sale of a product or goods and services. Yeah. So if someone knows that they can relate to you and trust you and engage in some kind of personal level, then I think that is really beneficial for everyone involved.
Yeah, for sure. While we're talking about a little bit of history, the chamber is located in the Morehouse in Carleton Place. What's the significance of the Morehouse?
Yeah, so people probably know, or some people probably know, that the Chamber of Commerce actually manages tourism locally on a fee-for-service model with the town of Carleton Place. So part of that is that we run the information center for the town, and we also produce an annual information and visitor guide for the town. So being in the Morehouse is a very historic building in Carleton Place, built in about 1872. And some people probably know that it was moved to its current location in about 2007 and totally refurbished. So the logs on the exterior of the building are still original, but the interior was renovated drastically. And the building is rumored to have a ghost, the ghost of Ida Moore. So people come in and they get very excited. A lot of people get very excited about that, and it's just kind of a fun, quirky thing. But certainly the building itself was run as a general store for many years, and really has a historic role within our community, I would say.
Yeah, it's very iconic for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the proximity to town hall, now that it's been moved as well, it's an interesting juxtaposition with the big stone building and then the log house. It's really nice.
Yeah, I guess in a way it kind of really shows the evolution of buildings, in an Eastern Ontario community, obviously, and they actually weren't built that far apart in terms of timelines. One being built in about 1872 and the other one being built in the 1890s. But log buildings would have been the first type of structure that people would have had as permanent dwellings, and then gradually the wealthier people, and as town buildings would have been built of stone. So two very historic kind of models of the types of housing that would have been relevant back then.
Yeah, well, we have the benefit of being right on the river too, so all of the commerce that would have happened there probably had a big impact on that too, I'm sure. As far as the chamber goes, it's focused on members, so you don't get any provincial funding or government funding, right?
No, that's right. It's a member-run organization that is financed through membership fees. So just like any other membership that a business would take, whether they're part of the retail association or the restaurant association or the home builders association, many businesses would be members of their sector specific businesses. And now the chamber is a little more of a general business organization that has levels municipally, provincially, and federally, and those organizations work for the benefit of all business in general,
right?
As far as speaking with government about policies and regulations that would impact business in a general sense. Yeah.
So you liaise then with the provincial and national chambers, is that right? Like, do you?
Yeah. So
conferences, I guess, are not happening this year, but I'm sure you have networking with them.
Yeah, definitely. Both of those organizations, the Ontario Chamber of Commerce and the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, have annual general meetings, where they actually pass policy resolutions that impact commerce across Canada. We actually were just part of a policy resolution that went forward this year with the Ontario Chamber, and it was on broadband. So, again,
wow.
With everybody working from home now, broadband is more important than ever. Access to broadband and good broadband services, and cost-effective broadband as well. I mean, it's fine to say, "Oh yeah, we have it," but if it's exclusive and it's really expensive, then maybe that doesn't help people as much as it could. So we worked with the Kingston Chamber primarily to put forward a resolution on broadband. Now the Ontario Chamber AGM normally takes place in May, and it actually got postponed until September, and it will be virtual, of course.
Right.
So we'll vote on policy resolutions put forward by chambers across the province. And that will make up kind of the key objectives that the Ontario Chamber will lobby to the Ontario government kind of moving forward. So the issues that they feel are the most important for businesses they take forward to the Ontario Chamber and come up with policy papers and rationale as to why an issue is important, and lobby government officials and ministers to action some of those things, and bring in regulations for business that make it beneficial for them to be in business, kind of thing.
Wow. So you do a lot more than people think from the outside looking in.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as kind of like visible as the tourism piece maybe, or the networking events.
Right.
It is very kind of behind the scenes, and we could probably do a better job of promoting that, but it's a little dry also. So, maybe it's not the most exciting thing to everybody.
No, but I think the impact is made when you can, like you say, you're the voice of the small business owner who doesn't have that voice or that platform to speak for themselves. So it's really important.
And that is the general reason as to why chambers are important and why they exist, because the Ontario Chamber wouldn't be such a strong organization if they didn't have chambers from all communities, representing businesses from all communities, and kind of pushing their agendas up and pushing up their problems up, and making sure that the government understands kind of the issues that business owners face, so that they can better address them through policy and law, and bringing in new procedures.
Right. Who's the target then of your membership? Obviously, it's small business owners, but is there a specific type of business, or is it open to pretty much anybody?
Yeah, I would say it's open to any kind of business or community organization. I have to say, locally, we get great engagement from many community organizations, everything from the United Way to Big Brothers Big Sisters, Lanark County Interval House. They're all part of the chamber, because also, they've got things that they need to have worked on as well. And so certainly being part of our organization strengthens kind of their agendas as well.
Right. Yeah, that's so important. You've mentioned networking a couple of times. I'm part of the chamber as well, so I know a little bit about what that looks like. But traditionally, we meet at a local business. Can you tell us a little bit about what the networking events look like on a non-COVID day?
Yeah, so we are we are holding 3 events monthly for virtual networking, it's different, but it still can be fun. One is kind of an informal coffee chat session, and actually that's taking place on August 11th. I'm not sure when this is airing, but on August 11th, and we do that monthly on a Tuesday morning. And it's an opportunity to catch members up on new programs and supports that may have been announced that can help them in business. For example, the Canada United campaign, and other programs that the government and the chamber is kind of promoting out to aid business. And then also it's just a general check-in with businesses to say, how are you doing? What do you need help with? What can you help others with? Some businesses, maybe they have a great idea about marketing, and it's great for them to share that with other businesses who may be struggling in that area or whatever area. Even the whole idea of wearing masks and keeping your environment safe for your customers and your staff. Everyone's doing it a little bit differently, but it's a great opportunity to offer ideas and ask questions of other members who are kind of in the same boat. I think I've heard we're all in different boats in the same storm. So,
right.
Everybody's maybe managing things a little bit differently, but certainly collaborating and helping each other and working together is a benefit to everyone. So we really try to encourage that as well.
Mm-hmm. And then we also have a monthly breakfast.
Yeah, so the monthly breakfast is usually a little more informative. So we usually do have a guest speaker for 15 to 20 minutes, and they talk about a given topic. And again, anything from marketing to wearing a mask to organization to I don't know. I mean, we've done anything, you know, anything and everything. Keeping your stress down, succession planning. We don't actually have a topic for our August breakfast yet. I'm still brainstorming about that, but that'll be the last Wednesday of the month that we'll have that. And then the other one that we've been doing is kind of a social hour. Like a wine social event where we encourage people to maybe let their hair down a little bit, bring a drink if they desire, sit at home and just chat with others on their computer about, again, what they've kind of been up to. And the idea of assisting each other and asking questions is really top of mind at those events, I think.
Yeah, they're all really helpful for sure. And the golf tournament is coming up in September. What is that going to look like this year?
Yeah, so we were sitting on the fence for a really long time about our golf tournament. We didn't think it was possible to be able to kind of hold it this year, but once we entered stage 3 and the government made it really clear about, what those types of events could look like. And I mean, I think honestly, golf's been more popular this summer than ever. I think I was reading something that you're 19 times more likely to get sick inside as opposed to outside. So encouraging people to get outside, and outside is not a bad thing right now. So instead of a shotgun start, we're looking at tee off times, just as if you'd be golfing regularly with friends. You've got your own tee off time. You arrive at the course just before you're set to tee off. They're not encouraging people to kind of linger and, hang out. It's more about come out, get on the course, get out, network within your small group of the 4 people that you're golfing with. They've got shields on the carts between people. So if the person that you're golfing with is not within your immediate bubble, there is that barrier in place. It's fairly easy to maintain the 6-foot distance on the course. People can actually walk if they want this year. You don't have to take a cart even. If you're, if you've got one of those pulley things for your golf clubs and you want to get a little bit of exercise, we're encouraging that as well this year. Right. And we'll make sure that the goodie bags are stocked right up when people go out. So they've got lots of food. They've got hand sanitizers, tissues, wipes, you name it. Awesome. It'll be a really fun goodie bag this year for sure.
So it's open to everybody, right? Not just chamber members. Is that?
Yeah, that's right. It's open to anyone who wants to come out for, an excuse to get out of the office for the day.
Are you still looking for sponsorships?
We have a few sponsor opportunities still available to get your name out there in front of our chamber members and anyone who's on the golf course that day. Because of the different format, and there usually is other people on the golf course. There'll be golfers out there who aren't necessarily part of the chamber, but who could be potential clients for your business. So it's a great way to market your business locally, and also to support us so that we can continue to keep our doors open and be there to help businesses. And by the way, I'm at the office daily. Our phone lines are open. If any business owner has a question, a concern, a comment, they need help finding something, I'm there to help them. It's sometimes when it's easier to ask a question and get the information as opposed to, going online and looking through 100 documents trying to find the answer. We've got a really strong network of information through the Ontario Chamber and Canadian chambers, as well as our membership. And I can probably find an answer to a question fairly easily. So by all means, I'm hoping people will call me, even if you want to know places to picnic or something, or are new to the community.
It's a great resource to have you there, especially since you're such a pillar of the community anyway. And I know this has been a challenging time with COVID. How have you seen that affect the chamber, first of all, and then the businesses that you serve?
Yeah, I think it's really wide spectrum. We've seen some amazing stories of businesses repivoting, coming out with new products, new services, doing business in a different way, and that's really exciting to see for sure. We've seen other businesses who maybe haven't been as lucky. They were the first ones closed down. They were the last ones to reopen. And so they're trying to work through those issues and build their customer base and service their customers as best as they can right now. And we really encourage people to shop local, to think about how they can support their friends and neighbors who are in business at this time. Certainly, I think shopping locally and supporting local has never been more en vogue as it is right now. And that goes all the way up to, the Ontario government and the Canadian government trying also to encourage people to, think about products made in Ontario first, look at the labels, think about things made in Canada. Let's, really think about how we can all support one another and still get the goods and services that we want to have and that we need. Yeah.
Yeah. As we're sort of coming to a close here, I have a couple of rapid fire questions that I ask everybody at the end of our interview. So it's easy. Don't. It's not a trivia.
It's just going.
The first one is: what is your favorite hidden gem in Lanark County?
My favorite hidden gem.
Whether it's a store or a restaurant or a park or a trail, what does nobody know about that you love?
Yeah, I'm going to say this one because, and I don't know if it's open right now or not, but St. Peter's Celestine Church in Pakenham, I think it's in Pakenham, is a hidden gem. Definitely, it's one of the 7 wonders of Lanark County. It is such a beautiful church. It's got gorgeous stained glass. It's so nice. I've been in there a few times, and it's just lovely. And in fact, like a lot of churches in the area are really lovely churches.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to be, religious to enjoy kind of the architecture and the wonder of some of the churches that were built in our region in Lanark County and in Carleton Place and Beckwith and Elmore.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, there's even a few really tiny ones that are just sort of off the beaten path, and they still see, especially lately with people lining up outside. I'm still seeing Sunday mornings where people are lining up outside of churches to get in. It's so nice to see people gathering together like that again. Mm-hmm. And the second question I have for you is: what is the best piece of advice you've ever gotten, and who gave it to you?
Oh, wow.
Whether it's personal or business or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You see all those kind of inspirational quotes coming up in your feed every once in a while, but yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm sure.
Or if you had a piece of advice to give maybe to a new business owner, what would that be?
Yeah, I guess, and I'm sure people have said this better, more eloquently than me, but I would say don't be afraid to ask people questions about something that you're struggling with. We can't all be experts on everything. So if there's something that is keeping you up at night and that you just really can't seem to get a handle on or master, like don't be afraid to ask other people for advice or input or suggestions. And I mean, you don't have to do what they tell you to do, or ask a few people, right? And get a bunch of opinions, because I just think it's better to ask and to have some things to consider than to just kind of sit there and struggle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. And it's a hard lesson we learn. For most of us, we try to do it on our own to begin with, and realize that we're surrounded by a wealth of knowledge with people who have been there, done that. And you're definitely one of those people. So thanks for your service to our community and to the local businesses. I'm sure you don't get told often enough, but we really appreciate all that you do for the Carleton Place area and Lanark County. So thanks for chatting with me today, Jackie. It was so nice to catch up again, and hopefully we'll see you in person soon. I'll be at the golf tournament anyway, so hopefully I'll see you there.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for having me today.
You're so welcome. We'll talk again soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye.